Hi, and welcome to the Knit.love podcast. This is episode 14, the one with all the things. I am Knit.love Steph, also known as Stephanie. You can find me on Ravelry, Twitter, Instagram. I actually think I'm even on Tumblr as Knit.love Steph. But yeah, that's all the places. And as per usual, I am in my location, and my co-host is with me today. Masha, are you going to say hi? And apparently by saying hi, that also means she's going to give me her rope. She's such a moose, I swear. And I have a glare. It looks like I have a glare from my glasses, so I'm going to take those off just for recording purposes. I guess I'll jump right into it. News on the home front. It's been 3 weeks since I recorded last. Last week was a holiday, which is why I'm getting to it late. And I have the day to myself today mostly, so I figured I'd record today. Let's see. I hope everybody had a great holiday week, and for most it's like a whole week. At least in my area it is. People from out of town, like Chicago, drive 4 hours to come stay in my itty-bitty rinky-dink town. And it's a whole week thing. Like, there were fireworks going off from Wednesday to, like, Monday. It was a nightmare. I can't really think of a whole lot else. Monday's going to be a big day for me, so if any of you praying sorts are out there, just say a little prayer for me that Monday goes smoothly. I get to go to court on Monday. Not anything bad, I promise. It's all good. And if you've got questions, hit me up on Ravelry or Instagram or even Twitter. Heck, I'll respond on Twitter. It's been a crazy week. A couple weeks, actually. They've switched up my meds again for the migraines. And I dropped another, 10 pounds because of it. Which the new medication just made me, gain it right back. I hate that. It drives me crazy. But my pants are still pretty loose, so I guess that's a good thing, right? Weight's just a number. Who cares about that? But yeah, since it's been ridiculously hot, especially for Michigan, I've just had nothing but time to knit and spin and do everything else. And next week's going to be cold. I'm not exactly going to want to go out in the cold. Yeah, we've got this, sorry, my phone just went off. That's okay. We've got this polar vortex coming in, and I live in Michigan, so polar vortexes are nothing, but when you get a polar vortex in the middle of July, that is a little strange. We've had them all the way up until May, but never in July. Granted, I've only lived here a couple of years, but, my whole family's been here, and they're like, well, we've never seen one in July, and it's like, I don't know. So I suppose I'll get into it. I've done quite a bit of everything. Let's see. I've already showed you guys my elder tree show. I have to properly block it, so I won't show it again. I guess I should start from the beginning. Okay, so I haven't shown these in a while. They're in my little pyramid bag that I've sewn myself. It's been quite a while since you've seen these. Do you remember these? These are my Michigan socks. The colors aren't showing up true. This is actually dark blue. It's like a navy blue, and it's sparkly. Oh, so you can see it now. It looks black, but it's actually a navy blue. They're my Michigan socks. And my lovely uncle, who was a Notre Dame fan, said, Michigan is blue and maize, not blue and gold. Those are Notre Dame socks. So I kind of wanted to burn them after that. Okay, well, the last time you'd seen them, I'd had this one done without the heel. The last time you guys saw these, I was about here. And I finished it. So now I have 2 socks. And I'm a little bummed out because the stripes don't exactly match. But when they're on, you can't really tell. So all that is left is the heel and and then they will be done. And I'm hoping to these were just kind of like my setting around project. They're not really of any import, especially since I don't need, mid-calf length socks in the middle of summer. So as long as I get the heels put in before football season starts, it'll be a good day. And those have been living in this bag for a while now, I guess. Oh, strings everywhere. Yeah, I have to weave in the ends, but I'll do that after the heels are done. That's my pattern. I have a pattern. Oh, and that reminds me, the patterns that I'm putting out, I'm still waiting on a couple of pictures. So as soon as I get... That was weird. As soon as I get the pictures, I'm going to publish the pattern. I got into a new podcast. If any of you guys watch podcasts on YouTube or anything like that, check out... Let me check, because I don't want to say it wrong, because Dan and Kay are fantastic. I love them. I want to say it's the Bakery Bears podcast, and I know I probably messed that up, but let me see if I can... Oh no, I'm right. It's the Bakery Bears podcast. They've got, I want to say 5 episodes out now. It is the greatest thing. I like it. I like it a lot. They have definitely made my top 5 favorite podcasts. They're just the joys of having a dog. You get random dog hairs in your mouth all the time. She's such a moose. Dan and Kay, they're married, and they both knit, and they're brilliant. I absolutely love them. So if you haven't seen them yet, definitely look. That gets me into my next project, because Dan is really big into knitting. Last I knew, I haven't watched their latest episode. I got behind, so I need to watch it. Dan knits the honey cow, and I've on Ravelry and Instagram and everything, it's been going around for quite a while, and I just never got into it until I saw, because it just looked complicated and it looked time consuming. But I figure if Dan's a new knitter and he can knit it pretty well, and I'm a old pro, then I could do it too. I didn't have any DK weight yarn. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, so if you're on Ravelry, go find it. It's just called the Honey Cowl. It is really, really simple. I did the short version, just because I wanted to see if I could do it or not. I did not have DK weight yarn. It calls for DK weight and a size 8 needle. I had the size 8 needle. I did not have DK weight yarn. I did have like a fingering sport weight combo of hand spun that I had spun myself. And my mom's birthday is, today is the 12th? My mom's birthday is next week. And usually for her birthday, I give her something knitted. And being that her birthday's in July and this year we're having a sweltering heat wave, normally I'll knit her socks. And I did not knit her socks this year, because she doesn't wear them. But I do have a pair of socks to give her later on as a surprise in September. So I decided I would knit her one of these honey cowls out of my hand spun. It's a lavender color. I don't know if you, okay, yeah, you can kind of see the color there. Because I didn't have DK weight yarn, I cast on extra stitches. You're supposed to cast on 110 or 120 for the short version. I cast on 100. No, I think it's 110. It's 110 stitches for the short version, which is what this is. I cast on an extra 20 stitches just so I could be sure. I probably could have gotten away with just casting on the regular amount. The hand spun, it is, the lady who gave me the wool, or the fiber, called it her Heinz 40, whatever the ketchup joke is, Heinz 47, Heinz 57. It is wool, angora, merino, mohair, alpaca, and silk. There's flecks of blue and pink sari silk in it, and I spun all of it on a drop spindle. It was about 8 ounces. The ball of roving was about 8 ounces. It was huge. Go through my Instagram pictures to like last summer when I first started learning to spin, and you'll see that when I got this ball, it was bigger than my head. So it was at least 8 ounces. And I did all of it on a drop spindle. That was a lot of work. But you knit it up for like 11 inches. I have yet to weave in the ends. I did soak it and everything, so it's real nice and fluffy. But I really like it. And it can fold over and everything, so it's like a nice... So I hope she'll like it. I mean, I know her birthday's next week, but fall comes relatively early. It's supposed to come relatively early this year, especially for Michigan. And so she'll have something nice to wear around her neck to keep her warm when the fall hits and everything, because she gets cold a lot. So that is, and it also counts as an FO because I cast it on 2 weeks ago and I had it done within 3 days. So FO points for me for this. Yay! I really hope she'll like it. Other things I've been working on. The last time you guys saw, I had this... Ooh, my food. I had this Cascade Heritage Yarns or whatever. I can't even remember. I know I figured out what it was, but if I could remember, I can't remember the name of it. It's this really pretty, let me see if I can catch, yeah, it's showing pretty true right there. It's a deep crimson red with flecks of even darker red and purple. And I had said that I was probably going to cast on a shawl or a hat with it, and I decided to cast on a sock head hat, and this is where I'm at so far. I haven't even, let me see, I'll measure real quick with my lovely ribbon janky measure tape that I made. I'm at 7 inches, so I got about 2 inches to go before I have to do the decreases. It's my travel knitting. It lives, if any of you followed me on Instagram, you saw that I got a really awesome purse at a yard sale for $3. It was a Dolce & Gabbana. And I was so excited because the middle has a divider. Like it goes along the entire length of the middle of the purse. And it's as deep as the purse. So it's not like one of those half dividers or whatever. And my mom cracked up because I got the purse and I brought it home and I was transferring everything out of my old purse. And I found the zipper divider and I go, "Oh my gosh, Mom, my purse comes with the knitting project bag." She goes, "What?" And I showed her, I said, "Look, I can put my knitting in it." She laughed so hard because I mostly said this without even thinking. But it lives in there, and so like whenever I'm at, because I work as the service coordinator for my church, and there's a lot of downtime for it because I go to the first service. It's like I have to be there like 8:30 in the morning. And so for the entire first service, I am the service coordinator. So I basically just check in on the classrooms and everything for the Sunday schools. And I do that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of downtime. And so my director was like, "Well, you can knit." She's like, "You go ahead, knit while you're waiting around and everything." And I was okay. So I got a lot done just doing that. But like if I'm waiting anywhere, I knit on it a little bit here and there. The last knitting thing that I have, actually no, you know what? I have my Hermione socks that I was knitting last time you saw for my grandmother, I got about 2 inches done. So I'm about halfway done with the foot on the second sock. I thought I'd put them in my bag. Apparently I did not because I am just that much of an airhead. But You guys saw that I was making amazing headway on my elder tree shawl and the lace weight of this. It's alpaca, alpaca with a twist. It's Fino. 70% alpaca, 30% silk. I went to start knitting on it again. And this was, I had knit on it back when I was on my other medications that made me super weird. Apparently I dropped stitches. So I was like this far into that shawl and realized I'd dropped stitches because I had massive holes. I almost cried. I had to rip out the whole thing and I wound it back up. And then I decided what I was going to do, because I already had an elder tree shawl. I am knitting on the, sorry for the crinkling, my pattern is in my knitting basket. I'm knitting on the Morgan. It's going to come up backwards on here, I know it is. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by Hedgehog Fibers. You can also find it on their website. There's the website, www.hedgehogfibers.com, HEDGHOGFIBRES.com. Because it says it takes the lace weight yarn and 4mm needles, which is a size 5. I got into it a little bit just to realize I don't like how open it is like that. You can't really see, you can't see the pattern detail at all in it, and I'm not too thrilled. I can get another skein of yarn. That's not an issue. I'm friends with the lady who sold it to me, so I can easily call her up and say, hey, reserve me a skein, and she will. So what I may just do is rip it out because I'm only this far into it, because this is a size 5. I may rip it out and do size 3 and see where it goes, because it's pretty. It is a pretty pattern, and I can't seem to figure out how in the world they got it to look that good with lace and size 5s. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my technique. I don't know. That is it that I have for knitting. I could have sworn I had something else. I guess I need to cast on a couple more projects. Take up my time. But it's been Tour de Fleece. If any of you spin and you don't really like deadlines or anything like that, I know many of you have heard of Spinzilla. That's pretty popular, especially in the Ravelry community. That one you get judged on for your yardage and everything. Tour de Fleece, from what I've understood, you don't. There's even groups in Ravelry where you can join and just be every once in a while spinner to participate when you feel you want to. I joined the Team Mustache from Mustache Podcast. Yay, Steph and Stacy, I love you guys. And I also joined in the actual Tour de Fleece group for, I keep wanting to say Moulin Rouge, but I know it's not Moulin Rouge. But it's the group for those who just participate when they can. The first 2 days I didn't really spin hardly anything because I was busy. And me being the dumb one, I left my wheel at my uncle's house because I've been hanging out with my foster sister, and so she's been staying at her dad. Her dad is my uncle. We're not actually biologically related. It's just the way our family is. He's best friends with my mom, been best friends with my mom forever, so he's my uncle, so to speak. And since I've been hanging out with his daughter, who you would think would be my cousin, but she claims I'm her older sister, I left my wheel. I took my wheel over there so I could spin and have something to do because I'm there for like 10 hours. And I left it there Thursday night. I didn't go over yesterday because they didn't need me, and I left it there. So I may go tomorrow and get it. Actually, no, because I'm going back on Monday, so I don't really need. I guess I'll just spin with Daphne my drop spindle. But I had gotten, you guys haven't seen it because I just got it like last week, but I have a knitting friend. I knit these shawls for her, and rather than pay me, she gave me wool for the fiber to spin. And she gave me a lot of this natural wool from her own sheep, and everything had been carded, and it's super soft and fluffy. And some of it she had dyed, a bit of it, like a 4-ounce ball of it, she had over dyed a lavender color like this. This is actually what the lavender color for the wool is. Actually, I think it's a little bit darker, only because the wool has gray dog hair, I swear. The wool has gray undertones. I sat on my leg and now it's asleep, and now it's highly uncomfortable. But, so I spun it up, and when I'd spun it up, I'd started with an empty bobbin, and I got about 3.5 ounces done. Well, I'd say about 3 ounces. So then Thursday, I finished spinning it and started plying it and got halfway done with plying. And it's so pretty. It's the first wool I've done in a long time that it was just one color, because I get very bored with it very quickly. But she had, I don't know if it's her process or the mill she takes it to or whatever, but it was so soft and fluffy that it drafted like a dream. It was just like cutting through butter. I should probably clarify and say probably butter that's been out on the counter for a few days, so it's soft butter, like cutting through butter with a hot knife. We'll go with that. And it's really pretty. I think I'm getting light fingering weight. It's gorgeous. It is beyond brilliant. Mushy, no. Come through. Oop. Come through. No. She's retarded. But I have been spinning on my drop spindle since I don't have my wheel. And I'm actually, because they got me on the new medication and the migraines aren't as frequent, I've been able to regain some of the strength in my left hand. So I've been able to spin up a bit. And I know on Instagram a few weeks ago I showed you guys the green fluff. It's now not in a ball anymore because my dog got into it and tore it up. She thought it was a toy. But I was able to salvage 90% of it. Oops. But I have, it's like this like pale green color, and it's got gold Angelina glitz in it. Gold and green and red Angelina glitz. And this is what I've gotten spun so far. And it's about half, I think. Maybe a third at best. But it's actually been really fun. I'm glad that I've been able to spin again like I used to. And I have 2 other bobbins of stuff that I just took off the bobbin so I could ply because they were ready to ply. Easy girl. Come on. Somebody knocked on the door downstairs and she doesn't like that. She doesn't know who it is. It's okay, sweetheart. You're okay. Mama's got you. You just play with your rope. But that's pretty much it. It's been too hot for me to go and knit with the kids. They have come over a couple times and asked me to teach them to knit some more. It's just been too hot. I'm allergic to the heat and I swell up like I've been stung by a bee and everything. So maybe when the polar vortex hits, I'll take them and teach them to knit a little bit more. Goofball. But that's pretty much it. I'm waiting on a couple more pictures for the patterns, and I will get the one pattern released here as soon as I wanted to have it done and published by the 1st, but that did not go as planned. And I'm trying to find a way to get a publishing program onto my mom's computer so that I can at least make it look pretty, like an actual pattern. But I'm not sure how well that's going to work out. I may just print a rough draft or publish a rough draft and then go from there. But I think that's it. With as much knitting and everything as I've gotten done, you'd think I'd have more to talk about, but I don't. And it's only been 25 minutes. Maybe I need to get people to knit with me, and then like if I had more people to talk on the show with, there'd be more. Mashi, you're gonna learn to knit. Okay? She just gives me this look like, no, Mom, that's not gonna fly. But okay, so I will, since I will try to podcast again next week, just because I haven't had a whole lot to do, and I thought I had that shut off. It's going crazy on me now. But because it spins, or Tour de Fleece, I think I'm gonna do like a mini episode or something next week just to show progress and everything, because it ends next week. But I guess that's it for now. I will see you guys next week after Tour de Fleece ends, and maybe I'll have some knitting to show too. I don't know. Anyway, hope you guys have a great week, and happy knitting. Bye.